What's up, Sooner Nation, Surgeaholics? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge tonight. We've got Hunter joining right now. Jeremy's at a track meet in Oklahoma. Don't know when or what time he will be joining tonight or if, but we are starting and we're rolling. Draft is going on right now, guys. I see a lot of people commenting, when's Guyton going to go? Soon. It will be tonight, in my opinion. Just a matter of time, I think. Monty hopes the Cowboys take Guyton at 24. Monty, if whatever you want the Cowboys to do, they're not going to do. And I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. And my hopes are not getting up for anything. I don't know what Dallas is going to do. I'm Okie Long guy says, are you guys live? Yes, we're live, Okie Long guy.
Jay, pretty wild night for quarterbacks in the draft.
It's too wild for quarterbacks. Some of them were drafted way too high, Hunter. My honest opinion.
I agree.
I mean, some of these guys should not have been drafted as high as they were. What's Atlanta doing?
I think Michael Penix Jr. is a great quarterback, but you just signed Kirk Cousins for 4 years, over $100 million, like what, $40 million a year almost. Why are you drafting a guy? He's 25 right now. So say if Kirk Cousins goes through his contract, he's not playing until he's 29, and you just drafted him 8th overall.
T Boomer says Guyton to Dallas. Hey, Okie Long guy, Penix too high. I agree. It always baffles me when teams draft a guy that they could get later on. I mean, and let me just say another. Okay, I saw the Caleb Williams I cannot pronounce the guy's name, Adunze, whatever you say.
Rome Adunze, I believe.
Yes, Rome Adunze. Okay, listen. If you don't just go back last year and the year before, Caleb Williams has had plenty of offensive weapons around him. Caleb Williams hasn't won anything. It's going to be the same thing in Chicago. They have nobody to protect him, Hunter.
I think Chicago is starting to turn the tide. I think what will stop Chicago is if the front office gets off track. I think Caleb Williams is going to have success there. It's a pretty winnable division. And, I mean, he's just an uber-talented quarterback.
So was Justin Fields.
Yeah, I agree. I think Justin Fields was a good quarterback, but Caleb Williams is better.
Okay, but Justin Fields did nothing because they have nobody there to protect him.
Well, last year, you look at what they did. First round, they traded down, tried the number 1 overall pick last year, and they go and draft the tackle from Tennessee. So, I mean, you're starting to get offensive line help. I would think they continue to get more offensive line help. And then, I mean, just looking at the weapons around them, as somebody mentioned up here, it's a very good core that Caleb Williams has in Chicago.
Yeah, T Boomer says, I think too many quarterbacks went too high, if you ask me. I agree, T Boomer. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Bo Nix at 12. Listen, Bo Nix is a good quarterback. He should not have been drafted that high. Okay? Just my opinion. Another one, I think Drake May's a great quarterback. Man, to have the top 3 picks quarterbacks, though, it seems a little, I don't know. That's what everybody said was going to happen, and that's what happened. So I'm not no draft expert. I'll tell you that right now. But I'll tell you what I do like, and I like it a lot, and that's Nick Saban on the set. Nick Saban is going to be great for College Game Day. He's going to be great. I love him on there. I think he's going to be really good.
I hope it's him and Pat McAfee together on game day. McAfee's very entertaining. I don't know if you guys watched Pat McAfee's show. He had Saban on the other day, and they're talking about the stunt he pulled at the SEC championship, singing the Georgia song and then to pick Alabama. So, Saban's great on TV. I think it's going to be a really good addition for College Game Day and make it a lot more enjoyable than it's been the last few years.
Oh, big time. And let me say this, and I don't know if people will agree with this or not. And Hunter, you may disagree. The NFL draft, I'm sorry, it's lost a lot of its pub for me. And you know why? because these guys that are drafted number 1 and number 2, yeah, it may be a dream of theirs to be drafted, but they're already making a ton of money in college now. It's almost like they, you know what I mean? It was kind of cool when they made it there, and it was like, now they're going to get paid. Well, now they're already getting paid. So not to say it's bad. Not to say it's bad. I'm just saying it's kind of lost that kind of like, I don't know.
I don't have an issue with it. I just do not like that if you have Twitter and if you follow like Ari or any of those NFL insiders, like, why even watch it? Because they're tweeting out the picks minutes before they're made on TV. I can't believe TV executives allow them to do it, because I mean it's spoiling the draft. There was some big time excitement. I mean, to see Michael Penix Jr. go number 8, like, no one thought that's happening, and you see it on Twitter 3 minutes before. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, and Hunter, Okie Lawn asking about the Red River Iowa series. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Here's the thing, though. The weather, man. I don't know what's going to happen. If they're going to get them all.
They have to get all 3 in.
I know, but like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think you're going to play a doubleheader.
Tomorrow looks fine. Afternoon, I think it's. I mean, last time I looked at the weather, it's going to be around 6 o'clock, low 80s with about 20 mile per hour winds. So tomorrow's night's game should be not an issue, but Saturday, I don't know how they're going to get that one in. I mean,
Lori,
still a way.
Are you talking about how many OU guys are going tonight? 1. I mean, if that's what you're asking. I don't know if that's what you're asking or just in general. They're just doing the first round tonight. And then I was going to get to something. Gosh. Oh, I think we need to talk about it. It's on the graphic, and it was brought up last night on the live by Trap House Boomin' about Jasiah Wagoner entering the portal. It is official now. He's in the portal. So Jasiah Wagoner has entered the portal. It's official. OU loses one at the defensive back position. I don't think it's shocking that a defensive back transferred. And the reality is this. I think Jasiah Wagoner was really good. I think he could have been really good. But you can kind of see the writing on the wall that, man, they've been playing. They got some guys there that I think they're just really, really, really excited about. And Jasiah Wagoner going to go leave and probably play somewhere and probably do pretty dang good wherever he goes. I think he's that talented.
Yeah. Gentry and Woody Washington returning. They brought in Des Malone, Kenai Walker. I mean, watching him in the spring game looked a lot better. So, and real quick, Okie, lawn guy. That was Ryan Lambert from Missouri State that hit 102, I believe. I know he hit 101 at least once. I believe he got to 102 as well. So, I mean, throws absolute Chad out of the bin for OU. But back to the corners. I mean, that's 4 guys right there. And then looking at guys in his class, Makari Vickers, Jacoby Johnson. I mean, there's a lot of people in that room. A lot of people. It's not too shocking for someone to leave because, I mean, the writing's on the wall that, I mean, you're probably not playing in year 2, playing much, if that. And then year 3 still, there's going to be a lot of competition in that room.
Yeah. Jerm, is that a track meet? I think they were finishing up, but not sure what time he will be on or if.
The transfer from LSU is Jason Bowman. I believe he's made 1 appearance, maybe 2. He hasn't played that much yet.
Yes, Tyler, you did read that right.
102.
102 at OU.
It messed up the netting on Easton Carmichael's glove behind the plate on that pitch. So, yeah, 102 out of the pen.
And Gray God says Williams to Texas is all but done. I'm hearing some stuff about that too, Gray God. And, all the people that said OU offered what he wanted to get. We talked about this a little bit last night. Whether you offer what a player wants or not, and you match what they want, that means nothing, because all they have to do is go to the next school and they'll get offered more. Yeah, I don't like that saying that. Well, OU did offered what he wanted. I don't like that, because until you get a guy like that, you didn't offer what they wanted. You know what I mean? Because they just going to go offer somewhere else and get more. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but to me, it's like, yeah, there's been times where OU's got the last offer and haven't got a guy. But you know what? We all knew the Dominic Williams thing was going to be the best bidder probably going to get him, just because he's that highly touted in the portal, and the portal money is big time for guys like that. So I'm not surprised. Listen, I'll say this. I will not be surprised if he chooses Texas, but I would not be surprised if he takes another visit somewhere else and the money goes up even more and he gets another offer. Nothing surprised me with that one.
Yeah, I mean, and why should it? I mean, he's ESPN ranked him as the number 4 player in the portal.
Yeah.
He's, pretty much the number 1 defensive lineman in the portal across the board. That may have changed some of the entries from Michigan State, which they got a lot of guys leaving right now. That's kind of crazy how much they're losing. But
Texas has had quite a bit in her.
Yeah, they have. And they had that DB entered because he was starting corner for them, and then I guess they wanted to move him to safety with the additions they've had, because they brought in a few corners this offseason. Talented guys. So, the portal taketh and it giveth.
And then this is a good question. If not the TCU defensive line transfer, then who? I don't know. Mars says, heard the MSU kid loves Bates and BV, the defensive tackle for MSU. I think is that Harmon you're talking about, maybe? I think maybe that's who you're talking about, but I just don't know on that one. Yeah, I agree, Gray God. They needed to process some. Although the freshman defensive back that had 3 interceptions, I was kind of shocked on that one. I don't think that's a processed. He's too good.
What, at Texas?
Yeah.
I don't believe he was going to start.
Well, he had 3 interceptions last year. Played pretty good.
Yeah, but with who they brought in, I believe they got someone from Arizona or Washington, one of those two. They might have brought in someone else from the portal too. So,
yeah, Greg, I think OU's done in the portal. I think they're going to get one more guy. I think they're going to lose a couple more guys. And when does portal close again, Hunter? Do you know the date on that?
I believe it's the 30th.
I thought it was April 30th, but which would be Tuesday. I believe it was April 30th as well.
Closes May 1st. May 1st.
What?
It's May 1st. I would believe that means midnight Eastern
30th.
time of April 30th.
Correct. That's correct. The portal
no Tyler Guyton to Philly. They just took Mitchell from Toledo corner. So
get the corner. I'll say this. I see this, and I saw this online. I watched some of his tape. The guy's a beast, and he's a stud. I didn't think they would really even get a visit or have a chance. Jimmy says it sounds like Harmon's visiting this weekend. If that's the case, wow. That guy's unbelievable. You talk about a beast in the middle, man. Wow. If they could land him somehow, that would be huge. What's going on at Michigan State, Hunter?
They've had a coaching change there in the last year, right? I believe and then the whole Mel Tucker situation. I just think it's stuff with all the changes that went on there. I believe who took over there? From Oregon State, correct?
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. if you're a player and you're at a school, like, and you know a team, maybe a big-time team, like, say, Oklahoma. Let's just throw it out there. Oklahoma looking for a defensive tackle. You've heard the name Dominic Williams out there. And you're a big-time defensive lineman on another team. You're thinking, wow, they need a defensive lineman. If I go in the portal, I'll get – I mean, the portal money is so big that, hey, test my name and throw my name out there and look what might happen, you know? I just think there's just too much money out there in the portal for some of these guys that they're going to enter because look what they can get. I mean, you're talking big-time money. Eric says Texas was just in the playoffs, so it must be working. NIL is pretty new, though, Eric. I mean, yeah, Jimmy answered Lori's question. Not Jonah Williams. We're not talking about Jonah. Not talking about Jonah Williams. Dominic Williams from TCU.
Yep. Big time defensive tackle from
who would you pick, Hunter? Williams or Harmon?
Dominic Williams is the best. I think he's the best defensive lineman in the portal right now. I think that's one that
I think Williams
really wanting. Yeah, I think Harmon's really good too. But you're really wanting an additional defensive lineman. Dominic Williams is who I think everyone wants to be able to land.
Yeah. I agree. Eric talking about Texas in the playoffs. Mark says giving out money is not new. Oklahoma just doesn't like to do it anymore. Oklahoma grew more on ethics. Well, everybody's giving out money now, Mark. It's not like it's illegal. So OU's handing out money. I mean, that's a fact. They are, because they're paying everybody in the program. So everybody's getting paid at Oklahoma. Now, whether or not they're paying as much as other schools for certain guys, no, probably not. Tyler's asking, does Texas make the playoffs if OU wins Kansas or Oklahoma State? No, because they don't make the Big 12 championship game.
Who?
There was last year. If OU would have beat Kansas
with one loss.
What's that?
Texas still makes the Big 12 championship with only one loss.
There was a scenario there where they weren't going to make it. Do you not remember that?
That would be if 3 teams had one loss. I don't think there would have been a scenario where 3 teams had one loss.
Eric's right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. And I don't think Oklahoma's beating Texas again.
I don't think they would have beat him. I mean, I think they beat him the first time. Not Luke, I'm going to say that, but the way OU was playing down the stretch versus the way Texas was playing down the stretch, I would have picked Texas in that game.
Yeah, I agree. OU.
Yeah, you're right on that, CS Land.
OU kind of peaked after at Texas. Texas continued to get better as the season went on. Great
question, Okie Lawn Guy. Is the Natty Patty streak coming to an end this season? Hunter, April 23rd. Is that the date tonight?
25th. Off by
April
2 days.
25th. I've been working to it. April 25th. Does OU win the Natty in softball? Yes or no?
I'm still going yes. I think they figure it out. Now, ask me again. Following Bedlam, I might have a different answer.
That's when I need to be asked. Is after Bedlam. I got to see Bedlam. And I think there's no doubt. I think a lot of people are still going to pick Oklahoma until they lose. So, but I do need to see OU play OSU, because if you go to really the team they played this year in the Big 12 that's really good, Texas, they lost 2 out of 3. So let me see what they do against Bedlam, and then kind of go from there. The Stutzman T-shirt killed Oklahoma season last year. Once the shirt came out, he dropped the ball. It's almost like the burrito with Gabe Burkich. Remember the kick to the burrito?
It might be worse, but yeah, you could definitely tell, even though I don't think anyone wanted that to be the case, that after Texas, it was not the same style of execution. It nearly lost to UCF at home. Took a great play from Kendall Dolby to prevent that from going to OT, and then to lose back-to-back weeks on the road.
Hey, listen, well, a couple things. First, what NBA player would you compare Jackson Arnold to? Is that what you're asking, T. Moses?
I don't know how you compare a quarterback.
I don't know how I compare football to basketball, but hey, Monty asked a great question, or it makes a great comment. And I think this could be accurate. If they win another one with all the seniors they have leaving, does Patty say, done?
No.
I
think she has a few years left. I would be shocked if Patty Gasser retires.
Yeah. He's asking NBA player, Jackson Arnold. I don't know how I compare that, but let me go with this. He's a quarterback, so I would go with the point guard. And he's young. Mark says John Stockton. I would go somebody like, gosh, that's a very tough question. You're going to have to give me a minute to think about this. The name that keeps coming up, which I don't want to compare him to, is J.A. because Ja Morant. But I don't want to. He's not comparable. But he's not comparable to Ja Morant.
I mean, I don't know how you.
I got it. Luka Doncic.
Okay, yeah. I don't know how you answer this. I'm going Trey Young. Kind of risky.
And Moses with the tough. Trey Young, there you go. An OU player, Hunter. I like that. Dame Lillard. Dame time, dime time. There you go. Listen, the answer to this, Okie Long guy, is heck no. If you're an OU softball fan, you're not going to give up a natty for OU baseball to win. If you're a softball fan, because I'm telling you, the OU softball fans are softball fans, man. They live and die softball. I mean, there's probably a lot of OU softball fans that don't care a whole lot about some of the other sports.
That's
just like there are OU football fans that could give a flip about OU basketball. It's the same thing with some softball fans. I'm just telling you facts. So I don't think they would, Okie Long guy. Yeah, Mark says impossible comparison. It's hard to do football to basketball, man.
I need some sort of a criteria as to what you're looking for in the comparison. That's tough.
Yeah, see, Teresa's a huge softball fan. She says, no. That's right. Hey, let's get to trivia. Go to Fanstop, fanstop.com. Check it out. Use code SURGE. You'll get 10% off your first 3 months. Look at this shirt. This is from the Fanstop, guys. It says boom, license plate. It's sweet. You get a new shirt every month. Please go sign up for it. I'm not just saying this to say go sign up. I'm saying it because it's great merchandise, officially licensed. Go check it out. Here's trivia for the night. We've been on NFL draft trivia all week with OU players. Here's the one for tonight. Creed Humphrey. What draft pick was Creed Humphrey?
Man, I could tell you what round he is, but
what draft pick was it, Hunter?
Exact pick. I have about 3 different numbers.
Not 17. That's way too high.
Yeah. Okie. I mean, I know they're doing stuff with L-Dale. I don't know what it's going to be. It's some sort of an expansion. It's going to be interesting to see what it turns into.
There's the correct answer. Dalpo, I think, was first. Dalpo's was 63. 63rd pick in the NFL draft was Creed Humphrey. You know what I tried to look up for trivia, but I couldn't find the answer?
What?
The little NFL draft chime music when they pick was what year did that start? I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I want to know like how they came up with that because it's just perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah. 63rd pick, which is, man, what a career he's had. And it's just still very young career for him.
The best center in the NFL now.
And guys, is it fair? The guys, I even watched the draft tonight. The comparisons from Caleb Williams to Pat Mahomes, I think, is kind of ridiculous.
I think they're different style of quarterbacks. I don't think that you should be comparing the two of them. I don't think it's fair to Caleb. I don't think it's fair just in general. It's fair to
Caleb. Like, Caleb wants all that pressure. Caleb's like, come on, bring it. Caleb, guys, I'm not going to go off on a rant. You know I will, Hunter. But I am not – I am of the minority here. I am of the few minority that think Caleb Williams is not going to be a great. He is not going to win much.
I think he will be pretty.
Will he win a Super Bowl, Hunter?
I don't know, Jay. I mean, it's Chicago. They haven't won one since, 85? The 85 Bears, the greatest defense in NFL history. I mean, I don't know if he's going to win a Super Bowl, but I think he's going to be really good.
We'll see. And I'll say this: if you go back to Patrick Mahomes, and let me tell you a big difference between Patrick Mahomes and Caleb Williams, Hunter. If you forgot or you don't remember, Pat Mahomes did not start when he got drafted, and you know what? He was okay with that. I promise you, if Caleb Williams isn't starting, which he will be, but I'm just saying, if he had to sit a year, he would not be okay with it. Did you watch the interview? Did you watch the interview he did with Ryan Clark on ESPN?
Yeah, I did.
That was a ridiculous interview.
I mean, I like the confidence, and I think he ended up being right.
It was very. It came off very cocky.
Okie, are you like? Do you know the answer to this question? Because from what I can find, it's 24 games, and that was in 1973. But correct me if I'm wrong there for OU baseball.
Hey, you're mad. I like that name, by the way, too. Caleb throws dots. Yeah, you're right. He does throw dots, but I just don't think throwing dots always equals winning, because last year at USC, he threw a lot of dots, but then he also made some plays that, tried to do too much on his own. And that's what I'm talking about when I say a little bit cocky. I think sometimes he tries to do a little too much on his own.
I can agree with that. I do think he tries to extend stuff too much, but then you also have to look at it the other way. I mean, look at how much he extended stuff against Texas. Like, it was unbelievable. That was just like coming out.
Yeah, and then I watched the Kansas game where he couldn't throw anything.
Again, he was a freshman that year. Okie, 1973 for OU baseball.
Hey, yeah, that's crazy. Hey, Eric, but that's my point. He's not going to have a good offensive line at Chicago. They're drafting wide receivers. Just my thoughts. Now, I may be dead wrong, guys, but what I'm saying is I just think yes, number one draft pick, everybody knew he would be. But I think there's some things that I'm still wavering on whether he's going to be the next Peyton Manning or whatever. I'm wavering a little bit. So, yeah, Kyla says not any better at Chicago. That's my thing. They're not draft another receiver. That's fine, but you got to protect the guy. He is now your franchise quarterback. So protect him at all costs. And they talked about this a little bit on the draft thing tonight.
I heard Herbie talking about it.
Yeah. They said the players love him. And I bet if you asked a lot of OU players, they really liked him too. I'm not saying that, but there is some type of, just my opinion, some type of cockiness from him to me. It kind of, something rubs me the wrong way. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just an oldie and all the younger people just love it. I don't know. That's just me.
Well, Jay, Cowboys just traded their
not
pick.
Surprising.
Yeah.
So, let me guess. They traded out and got nobody.
I don't know what the return was, but the Lions just took Terry and Arnold, corner from Alabama.
Eric, Baker was very cocky, and I loved it. I don't know. I can't pinpoint what it is about Caleb. Even you can talk to Jackson, Hunter, Jeremy, anybody that's been on here, and back when we started the podcast, and I was I not always kind of on Caleb, Hunter?
I mean, I only talked to you about Caleb when he was at USC. I never talked to you.
I thought you did. I'm just saying. Do y'all think OU lands Dominic Williams? I don't know. I'd say probably not. If I had to say right now on April 25th, I'd say no. I mean, but who knows? I think who knows? Yeah, Okie Long guy. I mean, you're not wrong on that. Oh gosh, look at Gray got here.
I think we end it with this question here. Jay, you go first.
Durant back to Oklahoma City? No. You know why? Here's what I would say to that. If Durant tries to come back to Oklahoma City, you know why he would come back now? Because they're dang good. He wants to get another ring. Here's the fact of the matter with Kevin Durant. People, listen to this very closely, Hunter. Kevin Durant left Oklahoma City when he could have won a ring. And he went to play with the team that he knew he would get a ring with. Once he got a ring, he went to go try to do it on his own in Brooklyn with some other guys. Didn't work out. Then he went to try to do it on his own again in Phoenix. Didn't work out. Not working out. Hunter, now he wants to come to Oklahoma City because what? They're getting ready to win a ring. Hunter, go. And this kind of ties into Caleb Williams too. If you are that dude that you want everybody to be, you want to be that dude. I am that dude. I want to be the number one pick. I am that guy. Go win something. And I don't mean win something, a playoff game. I mean, go win a championship. If you want to be that guy, go win a championship. Durant, go win one elsewhere. Go win one without Steph Curry. Oh, wait, haven't. Oh, wait, can't. You're with James Harden in Brooklyn. Couldn't do anything. And Kyrie couldn't do it. So at some point, maybe the problem isn't who you're playing with. Maybe it's you.
Maybe it is, but enough time has passed for me that the biggest thing with it all is who are they giving up? If you're giving up a piece of the core for them, absolutely not. No, it's not worth it. But I think it would be a cool full circle moment for him to be back in OKC. I know me for one, I remember like pretty much everything about that day. I mean, it ruined probably my year when Kevin Durant went to Golden State. I was in middle school. So I would be okay with KD back in OKC, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think there's any chance they're able to pull off a deal like that unless, as somebody mentioned, free agency. When KD was young, yeah, I was 8, but when he left, I was in middle school, I think 7th grade. So
yeah, Mass is asking about any football news. The only news is Jasiah Wagoner was official, entered the portal. That's it. Nothing else really from Oklahoma other than Dominic Williams, the On3 report about him really being in the lead, Texas being in the lead for him. I mean, other than that, it's Jasiah Wagoner in the portal. Nobody else is in the portal today. I do think 1 or 2 more will in the next few days. You got, 4 days left with the portal, something like that. So I think OU loses a couple more. But no big news from the world of OU football today. So,
there's not going to be much other than portal right now because spring football is over. I mean, the spring game has happened, so not too much that could happen.
Is this you, Hunter? Yes or no?
No, it is not. There's no hair.
Let's see the back.
No, it's real hair, man. Like it's not fake. But.
Look, Eric says if OU could land Williams and would pay to get him, he would say 10-2 right now. Would you do that too, Hunter? If they landed Dominic Williams, would you say OU is going to go 10-2 instead of 9-3? Is he make that big of a difference?
Maybe so. I still think it all comes down to, do you win in Dallas? I think you win in Dallas, then 10-2 is a real possibility. If you don't win in Dallas, I still think it's 9-3 because I think you're dropping two of those road games and the combination of Ole Miss, Missouri, and LSU.
Hey, real quick before we get off here. My man Hunter with the Arkansas Water Bureau. Mark says, wait, where it is? This one, Okie Long guy. Here's the deal. The amount of money some of these players are getting paid in the portal, OU's in trouble, I think, in basketball. I mean, they're not going to get some. That Padula guy landed, I can't even remember where he ended up, but he got paid pretty good money. And I don't think OU's paying that much. And OU needs help in basketball. They really do.
They got to do something. I mean, you see Otega Owe, crystal ball in for Kentucky for him. Kentucky. That is crazy. That is crazy. Hey, real quick though, just saw a quote on Twitter what Nick Saban said on ABC about Quinyon Mitchell, the corner from Toledo, selected by Philadelphia. Said, quote, he was our number one guy in the portal last year to try to get him to come out of the portal, and he would never get in the portal. That is crazy.
That's wild.
Can't believe he would do that on TV. So
they were tampering. They were tampering?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Let me end it with this. Break It Nail TV says, KD, no. I do believe he regrets leaving the way he did. Let me just say this as I close tonight. Kevin Durant only regrets leaving the way he did because Oklahoma City is now really good. Okay? No, Hunter, listen to me.
I don't think it's only because of that.
Hunter, listen. If Oklahoma City Thunder sucked and weren't in the playoffs again this year and just sucked, KD would not have any regrets at all. He only regrets it because he sees the crowds. They got the number one seed. Now he's like, oh, man, I should have stayed.
I think he may want to come back because of that. I think he regrets leaving in the way he did, though. I think
he regrets it because of the way Oklahoma City. No,
I think he regrets seeing an entire state absolutely hate him. Heartbreak. I mean, that's one of the arguably the most memorable day in Oklahoma sports history when Kevin Durant left. I think that's what he regrets is
Hunter
kind of just tearing the heart out of the city.
Hunter, if Oklahoma City sucked, he would be laughing right now.
So he was laughing all those years?
He was laughing when they were booing him. He was laughing all those years when Oklahoma City wasn't any good. Now that Oklahoma City's good,
pretty good those years.
What's that?
When fans were booing them and the games were chippy, they were pretty good. Westbrook had them in the playoffs every year.
They weren't like they are now. I agree, Kyla. I think if he stays, Oklahoma City has a championship.
Oh, yeah. They should have won it 2016. They absolutely should have.
They would have won it the next year.
Yeah. They had, like, Greg God, you're right.
And that's where this is coming from because I know they're the same business type. They're with the same people. So I know they're good friends. But
Chet's like shoes or KD's and all of that. So new commercial talking about the new Chet shoes and KD narrating it all. So
hey, Chuck, what are you talking about? Am I about a millionaire? He is not worried about what you are, man. I'm not saying he's worried about it. Anyway, Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to put it, Mark. I think if you make your own decisions, if I'm not, hey, for him wanting to leave and go play for somewhere else, that's fine. But just don't.
It was the way in which he left. That was
always the way in which you leave, Hunter. Always. Remember that. It's always the way.
The way he left and going to a team that you had a 3-1 lead over. You just had to win one of the last 3 games to go probably win a championship. So,
yeah. Well, guys, appreciate you tonight. I know we not a whole lot of OU football to talk about tonight, but let's hope they maybe can get back in the Dominic Williams race. Who knows on that? You got the visit this weekend from the Michigan State guys. So appreciate everyone being on here tonight. Jeremy should be back tomorrow. Guess he track meet probably ran a little late, as sometimes he does not know how long those will run. So appreciate everybody being on here. Appreciate the Fan Stop as always too. Go check them out, fanstop.com. Use code SURGE, you'll get 10% off the first 3 months. Appreciate that, Dial Post. Thank you guys for running the chat and comments and keeping it going. Till next time, Boomer.